I apply the color without going beyond my sketch. I'm careful but confident and fast, because the paper will dry quite dynamically. I add color. I have little water and a lot of paint in my brush. Those lines, which I have formed by touching the brush to the surface, can be spread with a fan synthetic brush. This way, it's as if I'm smoothing the pigment over the surface. I'm making the pigment more even and softening the Ocelot's surroundings. You can add more of the darker paint downward. I also mix Payne's gray and lavender. I soften the background with a synthetic fan brush. It's a nice foggy background. It's not too dark. We can also complicate the background a little bit by adding a little bit of water. We soften the background with a brush. Regular clean water in this case is great for creating extra texture on the surface of the leaf. My leaf is still wet, so I decided to use this feature to my advantage. I mix umber with burnt sepia, producing a brown shade. I apply the brown color to our Ocelot. I'm going with fairly solid strokes for now. I remember that I have stains there. However, the stains are darker than the animal's pelt itself. Those strokes I apply still form the overall volume of the cat. I'm showing the neck. My brush is actually dry. There's almost no water there, just pigment. What I have going on is the adhesion of the brush to the watercolor paper. I have water in the watercolor paper. You can still put a brown tint on the forehead too. See how beautifully the paint spreads, creating a velvet effect. That's the effect we want. Under the eye, you can also add brown. I mix sepia and burnt umber more strongly. I add the mixture to the area above the vibrissae and to the bridge of the nose. Even if something spreads, it's no big deal. Our cat is fluffy, so no need to be afraid here. Even stronger and more saturated color, I show the back of the handsome cat. I separate the shoulder blade a little bit. In the ear area, I add a bright accent too. Let the paint spread out, mix, create real magic. Even darker, I can add spots to the bottom. If before I acted with a weaker color solution, now I added a darker color. I had already outlined the main spots of the beautiful predatory cat beforehand. I act quickly enough, because it is necessary to catch the moment when the paper is still wet and not dry. I form the volume with the stains. I lift the edges of the strokes so that the viewer can't guess where the beginning of the stain is and where the end is. I even let the paint flow a little bit. This will be a plus because I want to convey the texture of our beautiful ocelot. I outline the neck more clearly and soften the edge of the stroke. There is a nice shade of gray under the ear, so I'm going to add that in now as well. I mix ultramarine and sepia, getting the color I want. I put a gray spot under the ear. Look at how my brown spot that was laid down before is showing through. That's the beauty of glazing. When there is an overflow of paint, when you can see some interesting accents in the work. This is the main magic of watercolor technique. Since we have adopted black granulating paint, we can use it on the neck and muzzle of our ocelot. So now I'm going dry. I add a dark stain to the back of the neck area. I soften the edge of the smear. By adding a little bit of water while softening, then I have a granulation effect. This gives me the surface condition I want. We form the spots not in continuous lines, but in interrupted lines. Somewhere the spots are quite small, somewhere bigger, somewhere they turn into a wavy stripe. Therefore, it is necessary to take into account the peculiarities of the structure of the skin. If we make the spots monotonous and boring, the viewer will also get bored when he looks at our work. I add stains. I still soften the edges of the strokes a little to show that the stains do not live a separate life, but as if fused into the fur of the animal. I use a fairly bright pigment because in any case, these spots will be very dark. Plus, when drying, the spots will pale a little. Under the ear, I show a dark spot as well. I'm softening the edge of the smear. The spots I have repeat the very volume of my cat. Once again, I urge you not to mindlessly outline these dots, but to act precisely through analysis. Granulating paints used to be considered a defect, but at some point there was a fashion for them. And so many manufacturers started offering just the granulation series. I'll be honest, at first I bought granulating paints like a true art hamster because everyone has them, and I need one too. But after a while I thought, what am I going to do with these paints? Here I got the idea to use granulation as an expressive effect on the surface of the animal with stripes, with spots. I caught myself thinking that granulation behaves just great and adds a certain charm to the work. So probably you should not do as I did. Buy first and then think about where you can use it. But here's a thing that used to be considered completely unnecessary and belonged to the status of discarded some material. Now, granulating paint is almost the main helper in our work today. The portrait is ready. The ocelot looks interesting and lively. There's just a little bit left. I'm correcting the chin area. I make the chin smoother with a synthetic brush. With black paint, you can add more spots. I use a granulating assistant. Under the eye, I inject spots on the cheek, on the cheekbone. I make spots of different sizes. Using a clean, damp swirl, I melt these spots into the surface of the pelt. Just a little bit, so that the spots do not look fragmented and included in the overall color mass of our cat. I take ultramarine and make a mark where the nose is. Because the nose area is also quite light-colored. It seems as if the nose area dissolves into the background. So I show the area with a thin line. By doing so, I separate the bridge of the nose from the background area. Our drawing is absolutely ready. Finally, I would like to say the following. The most famous ocelot was the pet of Salvador Dali. The extravagant artist was not separated from his pet and took him on all his trips. Well, how can we be worse? Now we also have a real watercolor predator, and without harming the environment.